Hey, everybody tuning in. Thank you for checking out Beyond the Game. It's been about a month and a half since we did a show. But we figured we give the people what as my guy B Legend says, give the people what they want. So that's what we here for today. So we're gonna go over a whole list of topics. We're gonna go over NFL free agency, the NFL draft, and of course that damn Last Dance documentary. I'm gonna just mute myself when we talk about that because I don't even want to discuss that no more.
It really didn't even show us much. All it showed us what we already knew.
Exactly. So that's why my perspective on MJ didn't change because it's like all of this stuff I already knew. So it's not gonna sway me one way or another. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second, man. Other than that, how's everybody living?
I think his Legend's audio was out.
Hey, Legend, we can't hear you, Legend. We can't hear you. We can't hear him. But anyway,
there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there ain't nothing wrong with that. He ain't saying nothing anyways. But so how's everybody been holding up with the quarantine and whatnot? Everybody good?
Man, bored out of my mind.
Ready for it to be over.
Ready for it to be over with.
Yes.
So let's dive right into it, fellas. Let's go and talk about the first subject, man, which is the NFL free agency. Let's get caught up on everything that's been going on. So I'm gonna let Dotson go first because y'all already know how I feel. y'all already know how I feel about this thing, which is we got terrific Tom Brady. We just traded the guy Gronk. We got to keep OJ Howard, Cameron Bright, and then on top of that, we got Mike Evans. You got Chris God. Do I need to keep going? Do I need to keep going?
There's no need to keep going.
I believe in y'all
this
year. I believe in y'all. I can say honestly, y'all have a very nice team. Y'all are well put together. I don't know much more to say.
Ain't nothing more you can say. You can say greatness. You can say greatness has been bestowed upon the team.
I just think
that Tom went there. Like he could have went anywhere else.
I feel like the way that things have turned out, it seems like it was the perfect situation for him, for real.
I mean, you got everything that's already tailor made for him. You got the offense that's already there. The only thing
you hear me? You hear me now?
Yeah. We can hear you now.
All right, I'm back. Damn it.
No, we can't.
How y'all doing?
I can't hear him.
I can hear him. So we was just talking about free agency. We were talking about how Tampa Bay is going to be in the Super Bowl this upcoming season. You feel me?
No.
He laughed at me.
No.
He laughed at me. But
oh my God.
My only concern about Tampa Bay, which is their defense, well, not even really necessarily their defense, just their secondary. We tried to draft to help out the secondary, but that's my only concern. The defense wasn't bad last year. I know y'all probably gonna start laughing. The defense wasn't bad to me last year.
The secondary was bad.
No, it really running secondary. It's just that Jameis Winston kept putting them in awkward situations. You know what I'm saying?
Over and over again.
So let's say for instance,
don't stop saying that about Jameis. You better watch his tape.
So
watch his tape.
So watch his tape, man. Don't get me started on Buddy. So Jameis would, you know what I'm saying? The defense would have a third and stop, a big third and stop, right? Get off the field. Next thing you know, Jameis throwing a pick six or another interception. They gotta get right back on the field. They don't get so long. But now we got Tommy Terrific. Hey, I need somewhere to.
You've never been a Tom Brady fan. Get out of here.
Hey, don't worry about that. We're not talking about that right now. But we want to talk about your whack Cowboys and what they did in free agency. I lack thereof.
I like that we got Gerald McCoy, Dontari Poe, and HaHa Clint Dix. Definitely were upgrades over the players that we let go. Let Jason Witten go. So I think free agency was okay. Made some minor tweaks, but the big thing that hurt us was Travis Frederick obviously retiring out of nowhere. That really killed us. But I think we got a center in the draft that can instantly come in and replace him. The number one center coming out of college football from Wisconsin. So I think it was okay. Obviously, we didn't have as big a free agency as y'all did or even the Broncos did, but it worked out just fine.
Deshaun Gurton, he popped on here and said Eagles. I would ask B, but I already know who. It's my homeboy I bust with you, B. So I'm not even gonna ask you. I know.
Well, my comments are, I want to see if the NFL gonna find Tampa Bay for the tampering that they've been doing here over the last, 3 to 4 weeks. All this tampering stuff that Tampa Bay's got going on. I just think it's utterly ridiculous that they've been able to get away with this.
First of all, watch your mouth. Ain't nobody tampering with that. We ain't by the rules. We ain't did nothing wrong.
I mean, all of a sudden Gronk comes out of retirement, and then Bill Belichick basically trades him for a 4th-round pick. Come on, man. I mean,
Trade him for nothing.
Nothing. I mean, come on, man. This just don't even make no sense.
I can't hear
However,
nothing he's saying.
it don't
That's
matter.
crazy.
Tampa still ain't going to the Super Bowl. So.
I hope not.
Well, I mean, it's set up for first and foremost. I can't help it that Gronk decided he wanted to play all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? Tom put that call into him. Hey, what you doing?
It wasn't all of a sudden. He knew the whole time he wanted to play.
They knew they had this put together.
He knew.
Yeah, they had to put together. They knew it.
He was tired.
They knew what they were doing.
He was tired of Belichick, just like Brady.
Thing that it shows me that they didn't want to play in New England anymore. That's what it really came down to. And nobody's really talking about that.
They didn't want to play with Bill Belichick no more.
They didn't want to play there anymore. They didn't want to play there.
Simple.
I think that's the underlying story that nobody's really talking about.
Exactly, especially for Gronk, because the moment Tom came down there, Gronk all of a sudden became healthy. And I was just like, man, it's just a simple fact they was just started playing for Bill Belichick. He didn't want to be there no more. Tom could have went to wherever team, and I think Gronk would have still came out of retirement. So I don't even think just because it's Tampa Bay, that really ain't got nothing to do with it. Gronk was just tired of playing up there. Let's see what we got. Who had get some of these comments in here. A+ draft. Nah, fam.
You know the Bears. They trash. They talk about with them.
Man, what is up with the Titans? The Bears having 10 tight ends on their roster.
What team?
I don't know, man. I mean,
the Bears have 10 tight ends on their roster.
They got 10 tight ends, man. It's just the Bears sports, man. The Bears are they're terrible, man. I mean, any Chicago team, when it comes down to ownership, they're terrible. You know, that's why you finding out all the stuff about, Jordan and the Bulls. This is why I don't root for Chicago team. It's the ownership. This ain't got nothing to do with anything but the ownership. So I'm over it.
I don't blame you, B. You know what I'm saying? Chicago teams all whack. They've been whack since the early 90s. But anyways, we'll
hey, now you got disrespectful, see?
All Chicago teams, though. Come on, man.
The Blackhawks tried for a few years.
I'm just saying, I ain't seen a. Oh, you right. I do apologize. Chicago Blackhawks and Chicago White Sox, Chicago Cubs. They both got a world.
Yeah, you're right.
So
but they all do the same thing. They try to figure out how to break the teams up. That's what they do.
Yeah, Chicago teams all over. So let's scoot on over to the NFL draft. Johnson, I know you really can't wait to get to this, man. You are a college football expert. You along with Daniel, who I wish Daniel could be here right now today. But who was your winners and losers from the draft this year?
Well, my first winner was the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't do anything special in the draft. They let everybody fall to them. J.K. Dobbins, no reason he should have been in the draft late in the second round. He was my favorite running back coming out of college. Obviously, they got the linebacker, Patrick Queen from LSU, late first round. I thought he could have went a little higher. Also, they had some other good draft picks. I don't have those written. Those were the top two that I had written down. But, man, it's just they didn't even do anything special. They didn't trade up. And they just let the players fall to them, and it worked out perfectly. They most likely have the best backfield in football now with obviously Mark Ingram, Gus Edwards, and now J.K. Dobbins. So that just gives Lamar Jackson another weapon. And then also
Ohio State.
Also, I think Denver had a great draft, getting Jerry Jeudy.
He took my answer.
And then getting K.J. Hamler from Penn State and the tight end from Missouri, I believe. Is that who? It was a tight end from Missouri.
Yeah.
Y'all drafted late in the draft.
6'6", 260, runs a 4.4.
Exactly. So I'm saying Denver killed the draft. They gave their quarterback to be Drew Lock some weapons. I think my Cowboys had a great draft, getting C.D. Lamb, who was the steal of the first round. Obviously getting Trevon Diggs late in the second round and getting Neville Gallimore in the third round. So those are my three big winners off the top of my head. I know somebody commented the Colts had an A+ draft. I wouldn't say A+, but I think they had a good draft. Getting Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I wouldn't say A+ either.
I wouldn't say A+, but they got their quarterback in the future. I like Jacob Eason. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks coming out of the draft. I think that getting to him so late in the draft, getting him on day 3 was huge for them. But my biggest loser of this draft is the Green Bay Packers.
It's simple. It's simple, very simple.
For obvious reasons. One, you trade up and get a quarterback that people are saying is the next Patrick Mahomes. I ain't see it last year. He had an awful year at Utah State. And then in the second round, obviously, Aaron Rodgers needs receivers or tight ends, okay? They just let Jimmy Graham go to Chicago. And you draft a running back, which your best player on the offense last year was Aaron, not Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones. And then you also have the Williams kid, second string, and you draft A.J. Dillon. That made no sense.
They say he was the highest player on their draft board. He was the highest player on their draft board, A.J. Dillon.
I agree. Packers did terrible.
That was the worst draft. They had the worst draft. Also, I think the Eagles I don't think the Eagles had a good draft either, considering they drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson out of LSU. No, it was just I think, and then obviously drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. Like
I wanted to ask you, not to cut you off, Hot Dog. I wanted to ask you about that. Two quick questions, Hot Dog.
Yeah.
What does the Packers drafting a quarterback in the first round mean for A. Rodgers? What does that mean? The fact that they traded up.
It's not even the fact that they drafted him in the first round. It's that they moved up.
Yeah, they traded up. Yeah.
So obviously
the leash is short.
Think that the end is near.
For some reason.
They did the same thing with Brett Favre. I think Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers were the same age when they drafted
the replacement.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously they think that the end is near. I mean, I think it's time to get someone ready. I mean, Jordan Love is okay, but I'm not a big fan of him. I'm just not.
You don't like. Well, and how do you feel about Jalen Hurts falling all the way down to the Eagles? Not only that, but the Eagles actually drafting him. What does that mean for Wentz?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I'm not surprised he fell that far. I thought he could have been a round 3 quarterback. I think Jacob Eason should have went in front of Jalen Hurts, but the fact that they drafted him and they had needs, they needed receivers, they needed offensive linemen, and they went ahead and drafted a quarterback. Obviously, they think that he's not going to stay healthy. But I think Jalen Hurts would succeed with the Eagles.
So I don't know if y'all can see the comment down below. David Reese, he says, Packers are saying A-Rod better produce or not. Has it gotten to that point for the Packers, though, where it's like, okay, you don't produce, you out? Has it gotten to that point for them?
They haven't been to the Super Bowl in 10 years.
But, I think it was B Legend that said in our group chat last week is that all he has to throw to is Devontae Adams.
So that's what I'm saying. So is that necessarily his fault that the team hasn't given him adequate receivers to throw to? So is it his fault that, the team hasn't produced like it has when they haven't put anybody around him? Now, I can see if they had given him weapons and he still underperformed, then you say, okay, his time is nearing. But they never really gave him any weapons, so it's like, okay, y'all won't be gone, but yet y'all never gave me anything to really win with at the same time.
It's really sad where the Giants gave an average Eli Manning better weapons over the years than the Packers have Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
All I know is my guy Tom Terrific didn't have much last year, but he's still. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about that.
Here you go,
my
guy.
Best core in football now.
Hey Ralph, how you feel about your Broncos in the draft? How you feel like they did?
A+++++. So kind of took the word out of my mouth.
So a C- for y'all. Got you.
No,
I think the Broncos had a very excellent draft.
They
excellent. He didn't even talk about the cornerback out of Iowa.
Who? What's his name?
I can't think of his name right now, but he's
one
of the top cornerbacks that came out.
I know who you're talking about.
He came out of Iowa.
I was just impressed with how they gave Drew Lock. So the Broncos did for Drew Lock what they should have done for Aaron Rodgers, pretty much.
Just put weapons around him.
All I know is that if you ain't in Tampa right now, I feel bad for you.
That's the saddest part. That's all we gonna hear all year. Tampa Bay this, Tampa Bay that, Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that.
Everybody
Wait, man,
I'm sick and tired of hearing about this.
Y'all some haters. Hold on,
I told you I don't care nothing about Tampa. I told you.
That's everything. I can hear legend there. There we go.
You know, I mean, I told you should have got Daniel for this. This is a travesty with the NFL allowed Tampa Bay to do.
Man, y'all some haters, dog. We've been doing this show. I think me and you, we've been doing it for 2 years. Everybody else is won, and y'all can't let me have 1 year. Y'all can't let me have one.
You can have a year. I mean, I told you it don't matter what goes on. You still ain't gonna win. It don't matter. You can have a year, man. You can have it. You got it.
What y'all want to put on it? We be Super Bowl champions.
Hey, I got a question.
What you want to put on it? I ain't about that. What you want to put?
We can't put no money on it because I'm on child support. But anything else y'all want to do, we can put.
Hey, I got a question.
I'm on the bandwagon, man.
I got a question.
I understand.
Okay.
How is Mike Evans or Chris Godwin going to adjust from going downfield to having to go 5-7 yards? Because Tom Brady can't throw the deep ball no more.
He can't. He doesn't have to throw it deep. He can still throw it 15 to 20 yards down the field.
Nah. Tom Brady, he'll be all right. I wish I had the stat with me. I had it with me earlier. I think passes 15 yards or more, he ranked 7th in the NFL last year.
He's gonna be good. He's good. He's good.
So hold on, cue you out. Hey man, I'm just saying, bro. But nah, as far as pushing the ball,
I agree with you. I totally understand why you can't put that money up. I'm with you.
You with me? You understand? You understand my pain? But as far as Tom Brady,
money for that haircut that's coming.
No man. We thugging it out over here. But man, y'all way out today. But anyway, so let's go and talk about as y'all see it scrolling at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and excuse myself from this conversation because I really don't want to talk about this no more. So we're done.
You have to. Yeah. You have to. Just because we're not talking about LeBron don't mean you can excuse yourself from the conversation.
Who's LeBron?
Let's talk about it.
Who's that?
So hold on.
Forget about LeBron. But these
Archie will tackle Gronk and break his leg for the 24th. He's talking about some wrestling stuff, man.
No. But for real, Gronk has signed a contract with WWE, and he is the 24/7 champion right now.
I don't mean nothing.
That don't count for nothing.
But what is that going to do though?
Super Bowl is going back to Philly.
Man,
Sean, you must be talking about Super Bowl on Madden because it ain't happening. Yeah, it ain't going down. Y'all not even the best team in y'all division, so I don't understand how that's going to translate to y'all. But anyway, so man, the last.
What's your question about the Last Dance, bro?
The Last Dance, this thing that came out 2 weeks ago, where George had to let everybody know, hey, look what I did, y'all. Look what I was cool with doing. So, legend.
What do you want to know, Q? What do you want to know, man?
So you for those who are tuning in, B Legend is born and raised in Chicago. So on the Last Dance documents that last, championship season in Chicago, what was the vibe like in the city in '98 during that last title run? What was the vibe like in the city?
Well, I mean, they were just coming off of, championship two years in a row. So of course, we was going for the 3-peat, but talk was always okay. Always in the background. The noise was that, this could be Mike last year, it could be Fields last year. It was always a conversation that Kraus and them want to keep team going because they would go through this every year because Jordan would sign a 1-year deal, Bill would sign a 1-year deal. So this was always a consistent thing. But see, nobody never knew that it was told that this was the last year. See, everybody just thought that we'll get through the year and then we'll come back and we'll re-up the contracts and go for another year. Nobody thought that they would break the team up because it didn't make any logical sense. Like, how would you break up the dominant team? Like, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So, when it happened, after the season was over, I mean, it was a shock to most people. But in terms of the atmosphere, during the season, I mean, come on, man. These were the Georgians, man. I mean, this is the best guy, best ever played the game.
Best ever. The GOAT.
Let me make sure I say that.
The GOAT.
And now. As you watch those highlights, you can see how dominant it is.
The GOAT.
I mean, this is a guy, he don't get carried off court, when he get hurt. He don't get wheeled in the wheelchair if he gets hurt. He just plays, man. They created rules for this guy.
Jordan rules.
They created rules for this guy. They created rules for this guy. They can hand check. Oh yeah, that's right. With Jeremy Q, the hand checking went out 92. Is that what you're telling me?
First of all, my research and development team gave me the wrong stats.
Hey, for those that don't know, Q Walker said that the hand checking went out in 1992.
Yeah,
that's what he said. Hand checking
when
went
did it
out.
go?
Nah, man.
Some braids.
First and foremost, I was texting while I was at work, and it was a typo, and I meant to text.
Oh no!
I meant to text 2003, but for some odd reason, autocorrect put 1992. Don't ask me why, but they did.
Oh man!
But I really think the biggest thing about this, man, and what you're starting to see is that what this show is really telling is how you got this dynasty that's built, but I think there's so many undertones that are there from the perspective that you've got owners that are thinking about their money. Like for example, they didn't want to bring Phil and Jordan back to pay him all that money. Plus, they had to bring Scottie back and pay him all that money as well. They didn't want to do that because Reinsdorf didn't want. He wanted to keep making money. So to bring those guys back at that time under that salary cap, he wouldn't have made any money. So you had that going on as well. So you got a lot of little undertones that are going on in this whole thing. And I laugh because they try to blame everything on Jerry Krause. Nah, this ain't Jerry Krause. Jerry Krause may have had part to do with it. I think it was more based upon Jerry Reinsdorf because as the owner, dude, if you want to keep that team together, who's gonna stop you?
You got final say.
I have a question. So after that year, who all stayed on the team? We all know MJ retired. We all know Phil went to LA. Did anybody who all stayed on the team after that?
It was Pippen only, right?
Nah, Pippen was out in Houston. Didn't he leave after that same season to go to Houston? I thought
it was a year later.
Did he go to Houston or did he go to
Portland?
No, he went to Houston first, and then he went to Portland.
And then he came back to Chicago.
Because remember, he went down to Houston, played with Charles Barkley and Hakeem Olajuwon. That didn't work, and then he went up to Portland.
And then he went up because him and Barkley didn't get along. They had a little fallout, and then he went up to Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
That's correct.
So, did anybody stay on the team? Because I know Steve Kerr went to San Antonio, right?
Yeah, I don't think I don't think no comedy players. He said Randy Brown and Scott Burrell and Tony Kukoc. That was your
Kukoc was your main guy.
Well, we all know Jerry Krause loved Tony Kukoc anyway, so that don't surprise me.
That's about it.
Yeah, he did. I mean, because he recruited Kukoc. I mean, he went over there and recruited him and got him under contract before he even came over there. And then when they went to the '92 Olympics, they put a beat down on him just to let him know what he was going to get into when he came over.
MJ and Scottie were arguing over who was going to guard him, right?
Correct. That's right. So, I mean, I think that if you pay enough attention to the details of what's going on in the Last Dance, it's more than just what they're showing on the surface. There's a lot of little undertones, a lot of different things that are going on as well. So, Q, if you pay enough attention, you learn some stuff, man. And then
you can call
Uncle Shay and get him on deck because he's lost too. Uncle Shay lost too. You ain't heard nothing. You ain't heard nothing from LeBron, hey?
Oh man, we've been texting every Sunday night because we ain't got nothing else to do, nothing else to watch on Sundays. So we text on Sunday night. But I'm gonna let your comments slide about being wheeled off the court, and I'm trying to
carried off the court.
No. He was never wheeled off the court. That was Paul Pierce.
Okay,
carried off the court.
Okay, there was a shot at Paul. As long as you, but
shot at Paul.
Dotson, let me ask you this: what has been your takeaway from the documentary so far?
I think I've enjoyed the backstory more, like of when he first came to the league, like the whole cocaine traveling circus. I enjoyed listening about that. And just how bad the Bulls were when he came onto the team. And the greatest quote I think I've ever heard in sports was from Larry Bird saying, that was not MJ that night. That was God disguised as MJ when they played in the Boston Garden, put up 63 points.
Has anybody ever said that about LeBron?
Heck no.
First of all, what they didn't tell y'all is that Larry Bird was high when he said that. That's the part of the documentary they didn't let y'all know.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Go somewhere with that nonsense.
Kills me how they leave out bits and pieces of the information, man. They saying
you a hater. I swear you are.
God, something wrong with you, Q. You just refuse to give that man his credit to let just accept the fact that he's a dope, man.
I give Larry Bird all the credit. Nah, Larry Bird was dope. But
oh my God.
Hold on, let me see. George snitching on everybody. Just wait till next week when he gets. Thank you, Andrew. Jordan was snitching on everybody. He talking about I knocked on the door, women everywhere. Man, don't put on everybody's personal business.
Hey, I will say that Jordan.
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say who it was.
Everybody, but CQ, everybody knew. Everybody knew. He didn't say. They already called it. What do you call it, B. Dodson? The traveling what? Cocaine circus?
The traveling cocaine circus.
Everybody knew.
But okay. So then he snitched on Rob. He said, man, we had to go get him at a hotel. I ain't going to say who was there or what was there. No, he ain't. Why you got to even say anything?
No, he didn't snitch. He said he didn't care who was there. He wanted him out of there because he had to get to practice. He didn't care who it was.
And part of the documentary, the part of the documentary they don't tell y'all is that Jordan didn't tell you how long he stayed in Rodman's hotel room. That's the part they didn't tell y'all about.
Hey guys, did you all read that? You know how Rodman used to be married to Carmen Electra?
Yeah.
They said Carmen Electra had a quote saying that Rodman had to hide her because Jordan was obsessed with getting with her.
See what I'm saying? Hold on, you right, B Legend. Good more stuff coming this week. I had
listen, man. How many times have we had to have conversations about the fact this is not about women? This is not about women, man. This is about sport. But this ain't something about women. It's about the sport. Why y'all care about these women? What does the women have to do with anything? What do they got to do with championship?
You feel me?
What they got to do with anything? Y'all pissed off because, people pissed off because Kobe went out there, he did what he did, and he got caught up, and then did he told on Shaq and all that? Look, man, I don't know these people personally. I only watch these people because of the sport. What they do, and they obviously has nothing to do with me. I don't care.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I don't care.
Yep.
They say Michael Jackson did something. I just listen to the man's music. I don't know him.
Hey man, I'm still kind of upset that Isaiah wasn't on the Dream Team though.
We gonna get to that in a second, Dot. We gonna get to.
They talk about R. Kelly and what he did. I don't know R. Kelly. I just listen to the music. I mean, how many babies they made off of that? Come on, guys. Let's get this thing real now. Come on, guys. Right, why y'all so concerned about who was in the room? Oh, okay. MJ knocked down Carmen. Well, who the hell wasn't?
Who wasn't? Oh man, hold on. Hold on, B man. Everybody good.
Hey man, I'm still a Pistons fan because I didn't realize this till today. Isaiah beat MJ, Larry Bird, Magic, and Clyde Drexler in the NBA final in the playoffs.
MJ beat everybody. He would beat LeBron.
I'm just saying Isaiah did what MJ did. He just didn't do it as many times as MJ did.
I mean, it's MJ, man. He beats everybody. But you know what? Here's the other thing, Hot Dog, since Q's kind of out of this conversation. Here's the biggest thing that I took out of this thing. And this is some of the most telling stuff. So they went and they lost to the Pistons back-to-backs in Game 7.
Yeah.
They got their butts whooped. They went back and said, you know what? We need to get in the weight room and get bigger. We need to come back and we need to beat the Pistons. Right?
You right.
They came out and 4. Right? Got them out of there. Right? Here's where I have the issue, and I've always said this, so this ain't nothing new. Here's the problem that I have. LeBron. Why couldn't you do the same thing? Why would you have to pick your talents up and go to South Beach? Why couldn't you stay with your team and make your team better?
That was because of Dan Gilbert.
You got to go to South. You got to go to South Beach. Oh, whoa.
Because LeBron is emotional.
They didn't like. Hey, MJ and those guys didn't like Krause. So what's your point?
My point is, at least Jerry Krause gave MJ some help. Dan Gilbert never gave LeBron help.
And that's all I'm saying.
The hell with all that.
Okay, so let me ask you.
Hold on, hot dog. If he didn't have help, how in the hell he had the best record? How in the hell did Cleveland have the best record in the league for consecutive years?
Because they was in the Eastern Conference.
Record in the league.
You got to
the league
though.
And
then he go out there and get beat down.
The playoffs are a whole different animal than the regular season.
Exactly. The regular season don't matter. Everybody coasts through the regular season. So however many wins you get through the regular season doesn't matter. It's about what you do in the playoffs.
Now, they haven't gotten to this part about the last dance yet. But a lot of people think that MJ didn't show up till before the 95-96 season. But he came back halfway through the 94-95 season, correct?
Yeah. He played. No, well, I wouldn't even say halfway. He only played
beat by the Magic, right?
He only played 17 games, so.
But he was still there for the playoffs, right?
Oh yeah, no doubt, yeah.
So and they lost to who in the Eastern Conference Finals?
The Orlando Magic.
So was it the Magic or the Knicks?
No, when Jordan came back off of his hiatus, they came back. He came back. They played the Magic and they got beat. So, but hold on. I'm to piggyback off of you, Dotson. You know, he said he played for like 2 weeks. This is the argument that kills me when people talk about Jordan coming back. He still put up 55 points against the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? So obviously he still had it. And not only that, he came back and was averaging 26 points per game. So it ain't like Jordan came back and was averaging 15 points per game and he looked out of shape. He looked like he wasn't the same MJ. No, he was still the same MJ. It's just that people don't want to believe, okay, that Michael Jordan got beat by a team. No, that really happened. That stuff gets swept underneath the rug. But I digress. Go ahead, Dotson. Go ahead, man.
But my question is,
what's your point though? He got beat, so what?
But my question is, what was so special about that Magic team to beat the Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals?
Oh, they were just better than the Bulls, period. That's it. They had a guy on that team.
What's the point, though?
The point is that Jordan's failures always get swept underneath the rug. That's the point.
He didn't have many failures, so you named one failure?
Oh, so you mean to tell me from 84 to 1990 never happened? Or did MJ just start playing basketball in 1990 to 1998? Well, please let me know.
Okay. So you want to count every loss in the playoffs just because LeBron's lost so many times in the finals?
Hold on, I thought it was
a
career. I thought it was a career, not just a couple of seasons that we judge players by.
It's what y'all LeBron fans is gonna do. Y'all gonna find any little thing that y'all can to try to. Okay, look, Jordan didn't do this. Jordan did that. Man, just accept it for what it is. All the last dance did for me was show me what I already knew. It just reminded y'all, in case y'all forget.
Jordan is still the GOAT. On the fire. You got to remember, I'm the youngest guy on Beyond the Game. I don't remember a lot from the 90s. So the things I learned from y'all.
You didn't miss much.
Okay.
You didn't miss much, Dotson. It wasn't nothing going on. The NBA was watered down. Wasn't nobody really playing like that for real. Jordan was just the most athletic person. And if Jordan was to play today, he would be DeMar DeRozan. Simple as that.
Why do you have so much hate? Look at this hate. Look how you turn.
Man, you sound like Keaton, bro.
I think those braids.
What is wrong with y'all? Oh man.
Nah, but what? All seriousness, the last doc, the only thing it taught me really is that the NBA needs to be happy that there was no social media back then. Can you imagine the news getting out about Dennis Rodman wanting to go to Las Vegas for 48 hours? Can you imagine that happening now?
Oh man, it would have been even better, man. We would have been we were already larger than life. We was already the biggest thing on the planet.
So that's what I'm saying. Man, there's no way the stuff that they were doing back then could no.
Or what about Jerry Krause would have definitely been the biggest.
It wouldn't got no bigger Q.
Huh?
MJ and the Bulls is the biggest thing in the world. It wouldn't have got no bigger.
No, what I'm saying is everything that they were doing, it would have been highlighted even more. Like these stories about Dennis Rodman wanting to go to Las Vegas for 48 hours. Nobody know that for real to the documentary. But if they put that in today's time, shit, boy.
I love the quote MJ said, "You better not let him go to Vegas because we'll never see him again."
and then he ended up snitching and telling them about Rodman being, all up in the hotel room with, strippers and cocaine everywhere.
He was a wild man.
Who Jordan?
Earned that. Rodman earned that. Back then, there wasn't a better rebounder. Hell, he's probably the greatest rebounder of all time.
He is the greatest. Well, I'll put it like this: he's the greatest under 7 foot rebounder of all time. Because you got Wilt Chamberlain, of course. So I would say he's the greatest under 7 foot rebounder of all time. Easy, hands down. But also a lot of controversy is surrounded by Isaiah Thomas and him being left off the Dream Team and the walk off that they did. Ralph, what was your feelings about that when you saw that part?
Sportsmanship.
Did you have a problem with it?
Just a little bit. I mean, you was taught a little bit different. I mean, if you lose, you lose. You got to kind of accept it. I mean, you still got to shake the hand. I mean, it doesn't change the loss. It doesn't make it any less just because you don't shake their hand. I guess they were trying to prove a point because I think Isaiah was saying that Lambert had something to do with this is how we're going to react. But overall, I just felt like it was kind of petty.
You say it was just petty?
In my eyes.
I
mean, they did get swept, though. I mean, it did probably hurt their feelings.
So what? We just got
feelings were definitely hurt.
We just got 2 rings. What I need to be upset about?
That's my whole point. It's sportsmanship. I mean, they should have shook their hand.
Here's the problem with the Pistons. It took so long to get that team put together, and it took them 3 years to get by the Celtics. That's what they finally got to the finals for the same reason the Bulls got to the finals. The Pistons got old, just like the Celtics got old.
So this document.
Yeah, you like what he just said, Q? Yeah, read what he said.
I mean, I'm reading
to LeBron.
The document shows that developed drafted players, not players already on teams they picked up more all-stars. Not really.
He's talking to LeBron, yeah.
Really.
But here's the thing. My aunt and uncle have lived in Detroit the last 40 years. They've been to a lot of Pistons games, from the Pontiac Silverdome to the Palace, now to Little Caesars Arena. A lot of people don't know this, but people in Detroit have never liked Isaiah.
Really?
Isaiah has never been a fan favorite in Detroit. Everyone's favorite was always Joe Dumars.
Why? Was it because he was from Chicago?
No, that actually had a big part to do with it. A lot of fans were upset when they drafted Isaiah because Isaiah, if you've watched the Bad Boys 30 for 30, you'll see that he purposely in his interview tried to get out of being drafted to Detroit because the Bulls had the 3rd pick and the Pistons had the 2nd pick, and he wanted to go to Chicago. And of course, the owner at the time, I can't remember, not the owner, the general manager, Makowski, I can't remember his name. He said, "Look, you can say whatever you want, but we're drafting you at number 2." I think Al McGuire went number 1 in that draft.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously, the trade for Adrian Dantley came to the Pistons later on. But the Pistons fans never really liked Isaiah, not because of just that, because of his attitude. The sportsmanship. He was just an asshole.
He was.
He was on and off the court. A lot of people thought Bill Laimbeer was the asshole. Bill Laimbeer was probably the softest hearted player on the team. It's just the way he played. But if you took a poll and you asked who your favorite Piston of all time is, 60% of Detroit's probably will say Joe Dumars. I
would agree with that.
But obviously, you watched those teams back then. Joe Dumars was the 2nd best player on the team.
Oh, easily. I actually think that Joe Dumars doesn't get enough credit.
Oh, absolutely.
They never had the most talented team.
You said they never had the most talented team?
They never had the most talented team. I mean, they were a good team collectively.
They were always great together.
Yeah, they never had the most talented team.
They were probably the actual definition of the word team.
You think?
I agree.
I know we're getting a lot off topic, talking about the Pistons, but a lot of people, the biggest sports conversation that comes up is, what if they drafted Carmelo? Well, a lot of people say, why not Chris Bosh or why not Dwayne Wade? You couldn't have drafted Dwayne Wade because you already had Rip on the team.
You couldn't draft Chris Bosh because you already had Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace.
Well, Rasheed wasn't on the team then.
He wasn't? You sure?
No, Rasheed didn't come till the following year, halfway through the year when they won the championship. They traded him from the Hawks.
You're right. My bad. You're right.
Remember, he was only on the Hawks one day.
I don't even think he was on there for a day. It might have been a couple of hours, and then they traded him.
Yeah,
but you're
and then
right.
he got traded He was traded to Atlanta, then to Detroit. But a lot of people say, why not draft Dwayne Wade? Well, you couldn't have done that because you already had Rip. That was my favorite player on those teams, was Rip.
No, he carried.
Say Chauncey Billups.
I'm a Tayshaun guy. I'm a UK bias, so I'm always gonna say Prince was my guy.
A lot of you would ask a lot of Pistons fans. A lot of them love
can you look at the camera, please? Yeah, I said Tayshaun Prince. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was my least favorite. He should have been on the bench getting water.
Hey, so before we get out of here, a couple quick topics, man. The first one is, do you guys think the Bulls could have gotten one more championship?
Absolutely.
What about you, Doc?
I think they could have won. I think they could have won more than one in a row.
Absolutely.
My second question is, do y'all need to be drug tested?
What about you?
Because y'all think.
What about you?
Hell no, they ain't getting one more ring. Hell no.
Why not?
If they stay together?
Hell no. What do you mean? Why?
If they stay together,
Jordan
they wasn't.
Was Pippen done?
Huh?
Yeah.
let's take out Pippen. Was Jordan done?
When he drug tested?
First of all, okay. So Bulls could have won 3 more. Yeah,
this question from me. Riddle me this. Will LeBron ever win another championship?
Of course, we're going to win it this year if we resume.
All right.
Nah, the Clippers were about to win that.
All right.
So this is how I feel about it. Okay, so the following year, it was a lockout shortened season. I think they only played like 50 plus games or whatever like that.
55 games. Okay,
they played 55 games. So it would given everybody time to rest, especially Jordan, who at that time, I think he would have been 35, I think. 35, yeah. I think. So it would have worked to his advantage. But
what, 35? Okay, but anyways.
So like I was saying, so rudely interrupted, is that I just don't see the Bulls beating the Spurs, because the Spurs, which everybody knows, was the champions that season. They ain't got no answer. The San Antonio Spurs, yeah.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this.
The next year.
So let me ask you this: Who's guarding Tim Duncan?
I don't know. You don't know what big man they might have had at that time. So
okay, so sure. It don't matter what defense they would have had. Who's guarding David Robinson?
Who's guarding Jordan?
Who is guarding Tim Duncan and David Robinson?
Rest my case. You know when the finals came, you know what time it was. You knew who was
wait a minute.
Night.
You still ain't answer my question. Who is guarding Tim Duncan and David Robinson?
Who's guarding Jordan?
So one guy versus 2.
Vinny Del Negro? Who?
One guy versus 2.
Come on, bro. Jordan was one guy against 5 every game.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Who? Vinny Del Negro played for the Spurs?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my.
See, y'all know he played for the Spurs.
And see, you and Andrew keep saying the same thing. Who's guarding MJ and Pippen? Okay, that's fine. But y'all act like the Spurs ain't got players that need to be guarded as well. Exactly. Y'all not speaking from the side. Okay. So let me ask y'all this. Y'all say who's gonna guard Jordan and Pippen? So Jordan Pippen gonna get rebounds too?
Oh my God.
They are obviously capable of getting rebounds.
Have you watched it?
Yes, when I was bored. Yes.
There was Jordan, there was Pippen, and there was everybody else. And that's how you figured it out every year.
So name me the team. So name me the NBA Finals team that Jordan went against that had a dominant big man.
This is the same argument y'all LeBron fans give me all the time. What does it matter? What does it matter?
It matters a lot. So let me ask y'all this: if let's say Jordan didn't get put on hiatus and they played the Houston Rockets, you think they would have had an answer for Hakeem Olajuwon?
Who's guarding Jordan, Q? That's my question.
Y'all keep saying who's guarding Jordan because y'all don't have an answer for me either.
I got the answer.
Hakeem Olajuwon? Will Purdue?
I got it.
Who?
They can let David Robinson get his.
Okay.
Rodman's gonna put the clamps on a young Tim Duncan, like David just said, and let MJ,
he's gonna get in his hand.
Steve Kerr,
come on, don't do it, Q.
Coach,
don't do it.
All those guys. There's not enough defense on the Spurs to clamp down on the Bulls.
Which?
Am I right, Ralph?
What does my dude Stephen A.
Gonna argue me anything that had a Jordan, anything that had Jordan on it?
Exactly, Sean. We talking a third, like they not realizing like Jordan is not the same. I guess.
Wait a minute. So we're saying that Jordan was going to have a huge decline from 98 season to 99 season.
No, but what I'm saying is he's not going to be that guy anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay.
But what did I just say?
1 year?
The Bulls still have so.
How long does it take to decline, Ralph?
Hold up. Time out.
After they won it in 98, how old was Jordan?
I'm looking at it right now, but I'm pretty for sure.
Look it up, brother. Look it up, please.
Wait a minute. So who did the Spurs beat in the finals that year?
The Knicks. Yeah, the Knicks.
Who did the Knicks have?
The New York Knickerbockers?
Oh, y'all talking about the Knicks? Hold on, y'all talking about the same Knicks from the same conference as Jordan?
Chris Childs?
Y'all talking about the same Knicks that are from the same conference as Jordan was in, right? But it's okay for Jordan to beat those Knicks, but if the Spurs beat the Knicks, it's the Knicks? With Chris Childs?
The Knicks wouldn't have
wait a minute.
My point is the Knicks wouldn't have beat the Bulls if Jordan was still there.
Who was on that Knicks team though? Patrick Ewing. Who else?
No, it was the year they had like Allen Houston, Latrell Sprewell, like Chris Childs.
Oh,
the
Bulls would have disposed of them easily.
Negative. And then on top of that, in the year 2000, you mean to tell me they got something for young Shaq and Kobe?
No, I think it would have ran out there.
It may have ran out, but we don't know.
They would have won one more in 98, and that would have been done.
They're not getting one more.
Respect to your boy Kobe. Kobe would have got it, Jordan wouldn't.
Oh yeah.
Kobe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Kobe would have went to work. Kobe would have averaged 45, 7, and 5.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Kobe would have went to work on MJ.
Yeah, I think he would have wanted that real bad.
Yeah.
No, we never know. We never would know.
Hey, look at what David just said. What
the I grew up comment?
Yeah, watching Reggie and Mark Jackson get smacked around by the Bulls every year in the playoffs.
No, man.
Who's Reggie?
There's no way. Just based off what Q said, there's no way that team that the Knicks had in '99 would have beat the Bulls.
Did you just say Reggie who?
Yeah,
I don't think the Spurs, even with a young Tim Duncan and David Robinson, would have beat the Bulls in the finals.
They would have let David Robinson get his and let Rodman clamp down on a young Tim Duncan. And then who you going to rely on then? Vinny Del Negro, Sean Elliott? Who you going to rely on then?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, y'all right. I mean, the Spurs didn't play defense. They were just gonna sit back and just sit there and watch Jordan and Pippen and just score all the time. Y'all right.
This was before they had Manu and Tony Parker.
Y'all keep asking me. Y'all keep asking me who's gonna guard Jordan, but y'all have yet to answer who is guarding Tim and David Robinson.
I just told you.
I don't know who those guys are.
Simple to say. Look,
you don't know who Rodman is?
Simple to say. Rodman would have guarded Duncan. And Luke Longley would have guarded Robinson. Simply,
I just told you.
Y'all right. Y'all right. Robin, what you said? Robin would have guarded Duncan.
Yes, a young Tim Duncan.
Young Tim Duncan. So that means Tim Duncan is getting 50 a night. That's what that pretty much means.
He ain't getting 50.
That's what that means. Duncan is getting 50 a night.
It's crazy. Rodman would have gotten his hair so bad. There's no way. There's no way.
Stay off the weed.
Look at some of these comments. I can't talk to Q no more. Y'all damn right y'all can't talk to me because I talk knowledge. That's why y'all can't talk to me. Y'all ain't got nothing to talk to me about.
Hey, it's been fun not talking about LeBron. I'll tell you that. It's been
You
great.
got a Jordan shirt on, I know that.
Yeah, right here. The logo. Yeah. There it is, wherever it's at. Yeah, there it is.
I see you representing Jordan.
There it is. Yeah. I ain't got no problem. I ain't never got no problem with Jordan. I told y'all. Jordan is
Yeah, you do.
He said.
Yeah, he does.
Rodman was 36 himself.
Rodman was 36 himself. I think he meant to put Pippen was 35. So great point, Sean. Rodman was 36. Pippen was 35. They're gonna do something with a 22-year-old Tim Duncan.
But my point is, you're saying these guys
are
going to decline that much in a year?
Who is Tony Kukoc? Like y'all acting like this guy is.
What do you mean?
Who is Tony Kukoc? Like who are these people?
He did say Tony Kukoc.
Yeah, I think y'all just be making up people's names because I don't because after Jordan left the Bulls, what did any of these people do? I don't understand, but y'all make it seem like because they play with Jordan, they superhuman and they gonna start averaging 15, 20. No, that's not very happening, bro.
Man, I don't know, man.
All I know is Steve Kerr went on to win 3 more titles.
And who do you get them other ones with?
Spurs, wasn't it?
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold up, real quick.
You're not a Spurs fan.
What do you mean you're welcome?
He said, "Oh, no, y'all about to see Tony next episode." Oh yeah, because Pippen had to beg Tony to come play with them. So yeah, you're right.
Wait a minute, Q. What Ron Harper on those Bulls teams too?
Yeah, you're right. And Ron Harper, his old ass was right along with him.
He was.
So let's not.
My thing is, who's gonna stop Ron Harper?
Ron Harper's gonna stop Ron Harper. We're not worried about no Ron Harper.
Avery Johnson wasn't about to stop him. I'll tell you what.
Who?
Been a good matchup.
Hey, how did the Spurs? Hey, wait a minute. Hold up, time out. How did the Spurs team, who only had 2 good players on it, get past the Lakers?
Great question. How is that?
I don't know. Somebody got to explain that to me.
They were a decent team. Like I said, collectively, I'm saying they were a good team, man.
He said decent team. Okay. Hi.
You mean to tell me Vinny Del Negro started on that team? Get out.
Yes, man. You don't remember that?
Bro, I was like 8 or 9 years old. I don't remember that.
He definitely did, man. It was.
He said Ron Harper's knees was going to stop Ron Harper.
Sean Elliott, Tim, and then I think David Robinson.
Didn't Ron Harper win a game winner to win a championship?
Yeah, on 2K.
Stop.
Randy Brown would have killed Avery Johnson. They silly, man.
Who's Randy Brown? Who is that?
I don't know half these players y'all they keep naming and talking about, but
Randy Brown was like the backup point guard for that team.
For who?
Behind Kerr?
The Bulls.
Behind Steve Kerr?
I don't know who Randy Brown is, but anyway. But
the backup point guard.
He must not played a lot. He must have just carried Jordan's shoes back and forth. That's all.
He probably did.
That's
all right.
Oh man, it's been good. We're gonna try to probably have another show tomorrow, man. It was cool getting out doing another show. Let's see. Hold on, we still got Randy had that wet jumper though. He was like a rookie back then. How many seasons did Randy play? I'm pretty sure it's probably a season.
Wait. What's a wet jumper?
What he said, a season and a half?
A season and a half, I'm pretty sure.
Somebody got to tell me.
I mean, we spent too much time talking about Randy Brown. He definitely didn't play that much with the Bulls. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, man.
I know who Randy Brown is.
But
look him up, man. He was the backup point guard. No lie.
I'm going to look him up.
Yeah, he didn't do too much. But man, like we appreciate everybody who tuned in. We might have to do this again tomorrow. I kind of like the little thing where the comments pop up at the bottom like that.
I like that too. That's good.
I like that. I think we might have to keep doing that. Also, tomorrow, probably from here on out, if people want to come be a part of the show, debate with us for a topic or two, I'll post the link. I'll send the link to your inbox. You can come on, debate with us for a little bit, and then once I get tired of you, I'm going to kick you back off. And then, we'll go to the next topic.
Hey, man, we stay tired of you. How we kick you off?
You can't get rid of me, baby.
You can't get rid of him, man.
Get rid of me, baby. But hold on real quick before we get out of here, man. How do y'all feel about Isaiah Thomas being left off the Dream Team?
I didn't like it. If Jordan had something to do with him being left off the team, I definitely didn't like that at all. I definitely felt like at that time he was definitely one of the top point guards in the league. So
who would you have taken off though? Who would you have taken off?
I would have to look at the team overall and kind of, it would have been somebody I would have took off, man. Yeah, Isaiah definitely should have been on that team.
You said John Stockton, hot dog?
Absolutely.
Why? Because he's white? Is that why?
He didn't win no chip.
You said he didn't win no chip?
He definitely wasn't that man around that time. Isaiah was definitely the man, especially when you talking about John Stockton compared to Isaiah. It definitely.
Man, wait a minute though, real quick. Did y'all see that quote from Isaiah? He said on The Last Dance, he said he would tell Mike, "So you might have Chicago on your jersey, but I'm gonna show you how a Chicago boy plays."
No, I didn't see that. No,
I don't know what that means. 1-on-1, he didn't want no smoke with Jordan, so I don't even know why he said that.
Man, you talk about the dude that scored 40 in a quarter on a broke ankle.
Somebody said, what about Chris Mullin?
Yeah.
He don't want no smoke with Jordan 1-on-1. I don't care what he did on a broke ankle.
Man, I would love to see them play 1-on-1 back then. I think Isaiah could have gave the game for real.
Who's that?
You got Isaiah over Jordan?
I said Isaiah could have gave him a game. I'm not saying he would have won, but I think he would have gave him a better game. Y'all think he would have.
Yeah. Where do y'all rank? Before we get off here real quick, I know we keep saying this and then hop on another topic. Where do y'all rank Isaiah as far as all-time point guard?
He definitely would be top 10.
I know that, but where you got him at top? Would you say what? Because Jordan got him as the second greatest point guard ever.
If I'm just gonna give you a quick number, I would say somewhere around 6 or 7.
I would say 5, around 5, yeah.
Because Jordan got, like I said, he's the second greatest point guard ever.
I would have to break down the list because it's hard. It's a lot of great point guards, and like I said,
yeah, but Magic's obviously the best point guard of all time.
He's okay.
Maybe I will be. I won't be disrespectful. I would say top 5.
What about is Isaiah Thomas? First of all, Doctor, you might know this. How tall is Isaiah Thomas?
6 foot, 6'1", maybe.
5'10".
Okay, so we'll say 5'11". We'll just meet in the middle. Say 5'11".
He's at least 6 foot.
Is Isaiah Thomas the greatest 6 foot under player ever?
No, mine's is Iverson, hands down. Always will be.
I say Iverson is.
I
would say Isaiah is probably second best.
Yeah, I gotta go with AI.
Let's see, we got Sean. He said Magic first. Steph Curry, the second greatest point guard already?
Oh, hell no.
And Isaiah Thomas third. What?
It's tough, man. Steph is a 3-time champion. Don't forget that.
I know.
Yeah,
we got AI. And then
even when Durant came to the team, Steph was still the second best player on that team.
Before
Durant, Steph was the best.
I didn't hear you, Ralph. What'd you say?
I was basically saying that Steph Curry, he's a 3-time champion. He was the best. He is the best player on that team outside of Durant for the 2 years that he played for him.
We might have to do that. Might have to be a topic for the next show. That might have to be the topic for the next show because
what topic? Who's the best point guards of all time?
Yeah, the top 5 because shooting guard, small forward, and I would say shooting guard, small forward, and power forward is pretty much solidified.
But wait, would you say Steph is a point guard or a 2 guard?
No, come on, man. He's a point guard. He's played point guard his entire career. He's a point guard.
I would say he's a point guard. Only because you got Clay. If Clay wasn't on that team, I would argue that maybe Steph is the 2 guard. But because of Clay on that team, I would say Steph is a point.
I would make that argument more with like a Russell Westbrook or something like that, saying maybe he's more of a 2 guard, but not with Steph.
Russ ain't got no shot.
What about James Harden then?
James Harden's a 2 guard to me. I'm always going to consider him.
Yeah, James Harden's a 2 guard.
Even though he led the league in assists a couple of times?
Just because in that situation that year he had to play more of a point guard role, it doesn't consider him a point guard overall.
He was forced to play that role, and you saw how bad they were.
This is the type of stuff I'm talking about. Who was the best small forward? You see how they try to? You see how they try to bait me in?
Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant.
I'm not gonna fall for it. See, I know what Darius is trying to do. He wants me to say LeBron James. I ain't falling for it. I'm not falling for it. Nope.
LeBron is the greatest small forward of all time.
I'm not falling. That's why I said the shooting guard is obviously Jordan, Kobe. That's solidified. You know what I'm saying? Small forward, LeBron,
Kevin Durant.
LeBron, and then Larry Bird. That's solidified.
Kevin Durant is not better than LeBron.
No, he's not. You know, I'm not a LeBron fan, so I gotta say that, man. I can't say LeBron.
See,
come on, man.
He said Bird, then KD. See what I'm saying? They be kind of baiting me into these
Bird.
See what I'm saying?
Hey man, Bird was a dog though.
Oh yeah. Until LeBron came along, Larry Bird was the best small forward ever.
I agree.
Hold on.
Hey, before it's all said and done, KD might be the best small forward. He got about maybe 2 or 3 left in him as far as championship.
I say this, Ralph. KD's probably the best scoring small forward ever.
Yeah,
Who?
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Who said
Andrew,
Bron,
I agree with Andrew's
Bird,
top three.
KD?
Bron, Bird, KD. I agree with those top 3.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's not. So what would KD have to do to overtake Bird at number 2 though?
Win another title.
Championships, yeah, at least 2 more for me.
He has to win a title on his own.
Yeah, I say at least 2 more.
Yeah, we'll have to debate that. We'll have to do point guard and center because the 2, 3, and 4. That's already like that's already.
I think that's what we need to discuss tomorrow. The best at each position.
Hold on, how do you say? Stop running to get
The only
me.
one we arguing is the point guard in the center.
Yeah, that's why. That's why I said everything else is pretty much solidified.
Yeah.
No,
Jack.
the greatest point guard is solidified as well.
Who?
I don't know.
Magic.
Some people might actually argue.
It depends on who you talking to.
That's what I said. Like some people
with
would argue
arguments, it's about errors and what you got to watch, what you got to witness. You can't tell any young kid that they're better than Steph Curry or somebody more recent. Like I don't think they're going to say Magic Johnson.
I know my 8-year-old son thinks Steph Curry's a god.
Exactly. You're not going to argue against that. And that's the part with these millennials and LeBron James at the same time. I had to throw him out there because a lot of them, they only see the noun and they still forget what was, and that was greatness when we watch Michael Jordan play every game.
Hey, Ladurius said, who y'all got as the greatest power forward?
Tim. As far as what I got to see, Tim Duncan.
Okay. Wow. So
hey, wait a minute. I don't really pay attention to the power forward position. Can you give me some examples? I know Tim Duncan, but give me some examples.
Tim, KG, Karl Malone. That's pretty much it for real as far as power forward position. I mean, if you want to throw in Bill Laimbeer, the Hall of Fame great.
Man, stop it.
No.
Man, I argue with this dude all day. Ralph, can you tell Ralph what I'm talking about?
Hold on, somebody. What about Jason Kidd? He don't get no love as greatest point guard.
Not at all. Not at all.
God damn.
He was a good point guard, but he definitely not one of the greatest point guards.
Hey, he was all right. Wait, hold up. Who was better, Jason Kidd or Steve Nash? I got Jason Kidd.
Man, that's a tough argument, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to say Steve Nash right now.
Hey, he said Barkley. David Reese said Barkley.
As far as what small forward? I looked at Barkley.
Barkley got numbers though. Barkley got numbers, but I don't think he's overall is better than Tim. You got to count those championships, man. Like Barkley doesn't have any, man. Tim has what, 3, 4?
Hold on. He said, "Hell no." There's a reason he's called Asen because he had no J. You can't say that because Jason Kidd is actually 3rd in 3-point field goals made. So you can't really necessarily say that.
He said his name was Asen because he had no J.
I've never heard that. I've never heard that before.
I ain't either.
He said Nash for sure, more complete game. Now, if you're talking about complete game, Jason Kidd got him beat because last time I checked, Steve Nash wasn't hitting the boards. Jason Kidd hit the boards.
Hey, Jason Kidd played defense.
So I don't know about that. J Kidd maybe 3. So I guess Sean is saying Magic, Isaiah, and then Jason Kidd.
No, he said Steph Curry, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
He said Steph too, I thought.
Hold on. He said, look it up. They called him that, I swear.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, so cute. Tell Ralph what I argue with this guy about all day on Facebook. Ralph, this dude argues me all day telling me that Bill Laimbeer is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. That was the argument.
Those are the type of people you don't even waste your time with. You just say, have a nice day and move on.
Don't y'all think I would know if Bill Laimbeer was a Hall of Famer?
Oh man. But yeah, we got to do some more shows this week, man, because this was a blast today. Like I said, next week, everybody who's tuning in, he said Oscar Robertson as a point guard. Okay. I'm gonna start posting
triple-double.
All you got to do as far as if you want to come on debate a topic, man, like I said, just say something in the comment section. I'll send you the link to your inbox. You can hop on here for a second, kick it with us for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. Ralph and B. Dotson, man, I appreciate y'all taking time, to get on the show. We'll have to start doing this once a week. Man, I'll holler at y'all. Y'all be safe, man.
Appreciate you, man.